trendy cause he's being in it like
right here, and I'm here to discuss the trade between the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Clippers, in which the Houston Rockets trade Chris Paul to the Los Angeles Clippers for Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, Sam Dekker, Montrezl Harrell, and a 2018 first-round draft pick. Now, when you look at this, trade, you say that, oh, this is a good trade for Houston, as Houston's forming a super team to compete with Golden State, and this is a bad trade for the Clippers. I say not so fast. Now, let me discuss the Clippers' point of view for a second. This is a good trade. This trade makes sense. This is a really good trade because if you think about it, Chris Paul's entry free agency as unrestricted, so you already know he's going to leave the Clippers. So, like, if he does leave the Clippers, you're not going to get anything back. Like, if he does sign with Houston, you're not going to get Lou Williams, Sam Dekker, Montrezl Harrell, Patrick Beverley. You know, you're not, because you're basically going to get nothing in your team. Probably won't be that good. Now, you know, I don't know if this team's a playoff team or going to be a playoff team next season. Like, they might compete because not only you lose Chris Paul, you might lose Blake Griffin. You guys might trade DeAndre Jordan, and you guys will lose JJ Redick. But you still have your bench, and you're going to add some more pieces to it. But I don't know if this is a playoff team. I really don't know. Maybe they are. You know, they have a lot of experience, but I don't know if they are. But I do like this trade for the Clippers. The Clippers are in rebuild. They need to get rid of their stars. They just can't work together. And I like what Jerry West is doing, as he's now the consultant for the Clippers, and Steve Ballmer. And I think Doc Rivers might leave the Clippers as well. I'm not sure. Make sure somebody's tell me what happens, or maybe he'll not. But you know, if Doc Rivers coaches next year, the Clippers will make the playoffs. They will, probably as the 8th seed. But if not, then they probably won't, unless it depends on the coaches. But you know, for the Clippers, you know, you can say they can make it to the playoffs. I say it's too early to predict who's gonna make it to the playoffs or not, because there's a lot of teams that's trying to form a super team. Now let's talk about the Houston Rockets. Now, like I said in the intro, a lot of people are saying that this is a really good trade, that this team might beat Golden State. I say not so fast. I think that this team is competing for a championship. I see they still do, but they're still competing for Golden State and San Antonio. Maybe Minnesota, or maybe Los Angeles, or maybe some other teams that make huge free agency moves. But I think that this team could be for the championship now. But if you look at the roster, who's gonna be your ball handler? Like, Chris Paul has always been known as the point guard. He dribbles the ball as much as anybody in the NBA. But James Harden's playing a point guard for the Houston Rockets. You know, James Harden is now starting to become the leader of this team. You know, like just like a year ago, he was dating a Kardashian and he had Dwight Howard. Now with them gone, now he's got his piece, he got stuff together, and he's made a Houston Rockets team from 41 win to 55 win team. And then they have some really good pieces. But then you trade those pieces for Chris Paul, which is a lot to trade for Chris Paul. So obviously everybody should know that who's gonna be the ball handler. Is it Chris Paul or James Harden? You know, both guys are good at the pick and pop. You know, with Chris Paul had Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan throwing oops or doing the pick and pop, and James Harden's also good at that as well. But also, you gotta understand that the Houston Rockets are a very, very good three-point shooting team. They are. Chris Paul can shoot the three, but I wouldn't. But he doesn't shoot it that much. He doesn't shoot that much consistently like how the Houston Rockets do. Like, if you see the differences between Patrick Beverley and Chris Paul, obviously Chris Paul might be a better player. Patrick Beverley, he might be a bit better defender than Chris Paul, just a bit. Other than that, Chris Paul is better than him and everybody, but Beverley does shoot more threes than Chris Paul, and it's just in Mike D'Antoni's offense. So obviously, everybody should know that who's going to be the ball handler. You know, because obviously Chris Paul's going to start. I mean, there's no way he's going to call it the bench. But he's got to start with James Harden. So this could be a very good backcourt if you think about it. Chris Paul, James Harden, probably the best backcourt in the NBA. I mean, I'm not sure. You got Curry and Clay and Lillard and McCollum and John Wall, Bradley Beal, but they could be up there. And yeah, and also the Rockets did get rid of their bench pieces. Like they got rid of Patrick Beverley, who's the heart and soul of their defense, their best defender in that team. You got rid of him. You got rid of Lou Williams, who is like probably the second best bench player in the Rockets by scoring wise, and he brings scoring. And you got rid of him. You know, get some good pieces like Montrezl Harrell and Sam Decker. So, you know, like, this is kind of a huge loss. Sure, you still have Eric Gordon, who just won Sixth Man of the Year. But, you know, I mean, I can't, like I said, I can't see this team competing for a championship. But I don't know if this is the third best team in the West. They're not first, they're not second. I don't know if they're third. I really don't know if they are really third. But then again, the West is now looking real good, to be honest. You know, Golden State, San Antonio, Houston are like the only three teams that could come out the West. Oklahoma City, they can if they get a superstar. Like I said, Minnesota can with that super team, and Los Angeles can with that super team. But like, this is an interesting trade. But I think that there's a lot of people who are like doing too much to this trade. Like, ooh, like this team could beat Golden State. I don't know if they could beat Golden State, guys. I really don't. I mean, like Chris Paul, Steph Curry. You got 2 point guards there, James Harden and Clay. Trevor Ariza probably could lock down Kevin Durant. But if you think about it, Houston has a small team. You know, they have a small team. They're not very good defensive team. They're not. So like, in Mike D'Antoni's offense, I'm sure he'll figure out about the whole Chris Paul, James Harden, like who's gonna be the ball handler. Cause it sounds like James Harden might need to change his game. You know, like this guy went from 6-man to now becoming a leader, and he's probably gonna go back to being a perimeter player. So that kind of sucks right there. But you know, when you think about it, I don't know if this team is good enough to beat Golden State. You know, I really don't know. But you know, like I said, it's too early. And also, one more thing. I don't like what Chris Paul did right here. I really don't. I don't know why Chris Paul could just waited 4 or 5 days until BP came to. Because isn't it him who gets to pick the destination? Because he's unrestricted. You know, isn't it him that gets to pick the destination? Because I'm sure he really liked to join the Spurs, and also he really would have really liked to join the Denver Nuggets, and he could have joined the Houston Rockets, and the Rockets could have kept Beverley and Lou Williams. That could have happened. So I don't know why Chris Paul, you know, wanted to like get a trade now when he's becoming a free agent, because he opted out of his contract, and I don't know why he want to trade now. Like, he's an unrestricted free agent. He's got to pick his own destination. I really don't get that. I really don't, cause a lot of people thought he was gonna go to the Spurs. A lot of people thought it was a done deal. He's gonna go to the Spurs. I thought too. I thought, you know, for like a month. For now, like, he was about to go to the Spurs, and the Spurs would make their big three of Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, and LaMarcus Aldridge. But it didn't happen, and I really don't know why. So now you got Chris Paul and James Harden. I mean, him on the Nuggets wouldn't be bad. You know, him on the Nuggets wouldn't be bad either, but, you know, it is what it is, and he's with the Houston Rockets. Now, for the Rockets, you know, your bench gets a little weaker. You know, you have Eric Gordon, and that's pretty much it. Like, Nene's getting old. You don't have Sam Decker. Normally, you would probably sign another piece or two in the offseason. Like, you can sign an Andre Iguodala. You know, that'd be good. Or a Andre Roberson. That would be good off the bench. You know, like a good piece, because your team's now getting kind of weaker as this trade happened. But, you know, we'll see what happens. The Clippers, you know, The Clippers haven't been a good organization through forever. But I think that this could be a playoff team next season. I really do. I think this team could be a playoff team next season, and even if they don't, then they'll probably finish at least ninth or 10th. For the Rockets, I mean, I don't know if this is the third best team in the West. I really don't know, but I know this team could probably compete for a championship. And probably Kelly probably compete with San Antonio and Golden State again, because San Antonio is gonna probably form a super team up there. They're gonna get rid of players like Gasol. Probably gonna get players. I hear they're interested in D Rose. They're looking to form a super team. But then again, Golden State looks like that they might not be the same team. Looks like Iggy might leave. So I think Golden State's got a lot of free agents that might leave. So look out for that. But all in all, like, how would I grade this trade? I'll probably give it a B plus or a B minus. Like, I like the trade for the Clippers, but I'm not sure how I feel about this for the Rockets or the Chris Paul side. I really don't know how I feel about this by the Rockets or the Chris Paul side of things. I mean, like, I guess this is an alright trade. I guess this is an alright trade. Like, it makes sense, but it probably wouldn't work. Kind of thing. I don't know. Thank you guys for watching. Out here. Leave a comment to think what you think about this trade. Please subscribe, leave a like, and tell me what do you think both teams are going to do. Is Houston going to compete for a championship? Is the Clippers going to make the playoffs this season? Leave that all in the comments, and until next time, it's Sports Talk TV, and I'm out. Peace.